Please welcome Jeff Nickerson.
Hi, I'm Jeff Nickerson, a senior manager at Amazon, and I lead the brand experience team. We work towards a singular vision to make the Amazon store a great place to build a brand that customers love. So how do we achieve this? By creating products that help your brand stand out with a unique value proposition and increase the customer lifetime value of the customer base you've worked so hard to build. I live in Seattle, and I've been innovating products to help selling partners succeed on Amazon for the past 9 years. I'm really excited to moderate this panel. With the partners that we're bringing in, they can share an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience between them. And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce them to you.
Please welcome Jeff Nickerson.
Hi, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be here today and bring you what I think is going to be an incredible panel. You're going to hear from some amazing brands and entrepreneurs and experts about how you can take your brand to the next level. Before we get started, do me a favor, get your app ready for a QR code because you're going to be able to submit your questions through that. But now let's meet our panelists.
My name is Shannon Roddy, and I'm a brand builder in the Amazon store. I started my journey 12 years ago, and during that time, I've had the privilege of working with over 250 brand owners. As a speaker, coach, and seller, I discovered that my true passion was learning the principles of creating a great brand from the most innovative companies of our time. There's nothing that makes me feel more alive than taking what I've learned and sharing it with others in a way that helps them become more successful. Last year, I joined the incredible team at Avenue 7 Media, where I continue the mission of helping change the lives of brand owners and sellers.
Hi, I'm Mansi Gangan, founder and president of Nested Bean. We are a sleep and wellness brand for young parents looking for solutions to their babies' sleep challenges. It was important that we shared the safety and efficacy of our products with parents, and what we found that Amazon's brand store was the perfect place to share our story. Today we have reached countless parents on Amazon, helped millions of babies sleep better, and our products have received consistent high ratings from our customers. So of course we're really excited to be at Amazon Accelerate and share our journey with you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Paijiu, co-founder and CEO of Blueland. Blueland is reimagining cleaning products to eliminate single-use plastic. Blueland has been the first in the world to bring a dry refill tablet to market across a range of categories. We've been selling in Amazon stores since early 2022. It's been a really wonderful experience for us and has enabled us to reach so many more new customers. And I'm really excited to be here to share with you more about our journey that brought us to where we are today.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. I think those intro videos were great, and I hope you're excited to hear from these amazing panelists. On the screen, you can see the QR code, so you can scan that with your app. We would really love to hear your questions for our Q&A session. If you haven't downloaded the Accelerate app yet, you can do that with the QR code on the back of your badge. So you can use that app to submit questions, vote for questions, and use the in-app scanner for that code. And then select the Q&A panel on the right. All right. Well, let's jump right in. I guess to kick off, this is a question I'd really love to hear from all of you. But why why should someone aspire to build a brand? When is it helpful? When and how does it help? So I want to hear from all of you, but Shannon, maybe we can go to you first.
Yeah, so the way I look at it is you have innovators and you have imitators. And in today's global economy, anyone can imitate your product, but it's extremely difficult to imitate your brand. And so the way I see it, the best thing that you can do for your company and for your customers and your employees is to create a strong, defensible brand that customers love.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Mansi, how about you?
Absolutely. For us, we sell baby products. It's really important that the parents who are making these purchases start the relationship with trust. So for us, developing a brand means that you're able to convey who you are, what you stand for, open up the conversation so that it starts with a trusted relationship between the parent and Nested Bean. Opening up the conversation also adds a level of dimensionality. It deepens your relationship, or it gives us the opportunity to. For example, instead of it being a sleepwear, we are able to now have a conversation about how we have built in innovation. There is science and research that goes into the touch technology that is built into our sleepwear that helps babies sleep better, sounder. And building the brand also has helped us as a company create our values, resonating those values with the end customer. And then further, it guides our product portfolio, our growth, the voice and the tone. So it essentially gives you the identity. So although you can start as a product, a lot of companies do, it really helps to take the time to craft your identity in a very meaningful way that helps you deepen that relationship and build that trust with your customer.
Yeah, that customer trust is just so important. Sarah, why did you decide to build a brand?
Yeah, I mean, to start, I agree with everything that's been said. For us, building a brand is so important for establishing that emotional connection. Being a brand means, like Mansi said, you're so much more than just the products that you sell. So without a brand, for example, Blueland would just be dry cleaning tablets. And when you're out with your friends at dinner, I'm sure you're not excited usually to talk about your cleaning products, much less follow your cleaning product brands on Instagram or TikTok. But the Blueland brand is so much more than that, and we stand for creating a cleaner planet and a cleaner future. And that's why when you ask our customers the emotion that they feel when they use Blueland, the most common answer is actually pride. They feel proud to use Blueland products. They also feel hopeful and empowered. Blueland represents sort of a best version of themselves, which is why they're so excited to talk to their friends about us and share us on social media because it makes them look good as well, and that's oftentimes what a good brand does. So this brand building, establishing an emotional connection could really drive brand love. It can drive repeat, and certainly for us, has driven so much word of mouth. I'd also just add, probably more tactically, building brand is also a really helpful way in feeding the flywheel. Building brand awareness, whether that's on or off of Amazon, can really drive brand search volume, which for us has been so helpful in driving higher visibility and conversions on hyper-competitive category search terms.
Just so much great advice, and I think a lot we're going to learn today from these incredible entrepreneurs. Coming to the next question, though, a lot of people in the audience are probably just starting out. So Sarah, a question for you. What's some advice you wish you'd gotten when you were just starting out to build a brand?
So much advice. But I suppose if I had to pick just one, it would be just to take big goals and break them down into small steps. As my father used to always say, how do you eat an elephant? And it's just one bite at a time. And it's natural, especially when you're first getting started, to feel like,
I have so many big things to do, and I've never done them before, and I have no idea where to start. With Blueland, we had this big, audacious goal of eliminating single-use plastic packaging in the cleaning industry, and I wanted to create dry cleaning tablets, which had never been done before. Wanted to remove water from cleaning products that are traditionally up to 90% water. And again, this is something that even large CPG companies that have been around for hundreds of years with billion-dollar R&D budgets had not done. But I just took it task by task. I remember early days connecting with, over 40 cleaning products manufacturers and asking them if they could help me with this idea. And many of them looked at me like I had 3 heads, explaining to me, we make liquid products. We don't even have tablet machinery. In fact, most of our ingredients come to us as liquid. You need to create the formula. You need to come to us with the formula. And I'm not a chemist. I actually didn't even have chemists in my network. And so I just turned to LinkedIn, and for months, I probably sent out close to 100 LinkedIn messages to chemists, just trying to get anyone who'd be willing to get on the phone with me. And those are just 2 examples of so many you just have to break it down day by day, task by task, and there's this incredible ripple effect of confidence, I think, when you see yourself doing these things that you didn't think was possible, and in 1 year, you're gonna look back and be astounded as to how far you've come.
What an incredible founding story. I mean, the grit and tenacity that you had moving through that and setting goals and just making progress. It's incredible. Well, Mansi, I'd love to come to you with this question. But how do you make a brand story that really pops with your customers? Something that makes your value proposition really resonate.
Absolutely. It starts with empathy. You really need to understand the needs of your customers and their burning desires. And if your purpose intersects with your needs, that's where the magic lies. For us, we're a brand that completely understands, first of all, the needs of these parents who have welcomed their new babies. On one hand, they're extremely joyous. On the other hand, they're sleep deprived in a way that they have never experienced sleep deprivation before. We are a brand that was created by a parent for parents. So anything that our customers are feeling, we are deeply rooted in understanding those challenges, first and foremost. So empathy, understanding the needs and having the purpose of your company to solve those needs in a very simple way. So although our products are well-researched, there is a lot of scientific evidence, there is safety expertise that goes into building products for young babies, the interface has to be simple. It has to be extremely intuitive. It can't be complicated. Because if it is complicated, then your dialogue with your customer also ends up being complicated. So that's the next step. The third step is being able to convey that with the end customer. And we always lead with the benefit. There is a line that I'd heard a long time ago, and it has stuck with me. Features tell, benefits sell. So lead with the benefit. No matter how proud we are about our products and their features and their doodads, we never lead with that. We always lead with that empathetic ear and with the benefit, because that's what they care about the most. And once you have established that, it's easy to resonate. And if you really are good, you'll take it one step further. So the fourth is the benefit of the benefit. Anytime we sell a product, no matter what the category, you are enabling something. You're either catering to their hopes or their fears or their desire, their joy. Find what that is and talk about the benefit of the benefit. For example, in our case, we deliver a good night's sleep to the baby. But as a result, we are the enablers of better sleep for the whole family, which means that your mornings are better, brighter. You're less grumpier. You're able to have more memories with your family, cater to an older sibling maybe. So what is that benefit of the benefit? It just allows you to have a different conversation. And that's how you're able to resonate with your customers.
This is so powerful. We build a lot of the tools that kind of give brands the ability to connect with customers and be able to tell the story. But I think these types of anecdotes of how to tell the story to really make it resonate with customers is just advice that you can only get from these incredible panelists. So it's amazing. Shannon, I want to come to you with this one. So how do you build a brand that customers remember and that they advocate for even better?
Yeah, it's a great question. It starts with a just cause. What do you believe that transcends the products that you sell? Blueland is a great example of that, right? They don't just care about creating cleaning products, they care about creating a cleaner planet. And it's important to remember that customers aren't actually advocating for your brand. They're advocating for the values that you hold as a brand that align with their own values. The second part of that is how to create a memorable brand. And to create a memorable brand, you really have to have trust and engagement. So you really have to build trust and engagement. Trust is built on quality and consistency and authenticity, but it's personality that creates engagement. One of my favorite examples is a body wash, and on the packaging under the instructions how to use it said, if you really don't know, we suggest you find someone that you really like and invite them into the shower with you to demonstrate. And it's funny and it's memorable. You can't be afraid to let the personality of your brand shine through every single interaction you have with your customers. And so one of the quotes that I love is by Adam Lowry, the co-founder of Method. He said, there's no such thing as low-interest categories, just low-interest brands.
I love it. It's so powerful. And I think probably that quote will be the most memorable thing in this panel. Maybe coming back to another thing of kind of how we get more practical about doing this, within your Amazon store. And this is a question I'd love everybody to answer, but what are the tools that are offered by Amazon that are most important for building a strong brand? So Sarah, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. I think it's so important to be always testing and learning more about your customers, and Amazon offers brands tools like experiments in Seller Central that enable us to constantly be testing creative and messaging, and that's been so invaluable to us since the beginning. As you can imagine, as a cleaning products brand, there's no shortage of value propositions that could matter to a potential customer, from efficacy of our products to clean ingredients to, of course, our sustainable plastic-free packaging. And through testing, we've been able to really refine and land what is the hierarchy of these value props and that matter to the customer, and what's the right way to convey each. Another example I love sharing with folks that just shows how valuable testing has been for us to refine our business model is when we first launched, we sold our hand soap tablets in assortments of 3, 6, and 9. Simply because I thought those were natural assortments to sell hand soap tablets in. But through testing, we've landed on our current assortment of 5, 10, and 20 hand soap tablets. And I would just not have ever imagined that people would be buying 20 bottles of hand soap. That's over $50 of hand soap at a time, and that's what about 25% of our customers now do. So it's been incredibly valuable.
That's such great advice. I mean, it's so powerful when you take, you just make a decision. You don't know if it's right, but you just try it and you learn and you make it better every day. Mansi, what about you? What tools have you found to be most effective?
Yeah, for us, we are a brand with IP. So it's extremely important that we keep that protected. As we heard earlier, Shannon, you were saying, that's the way you defend your brand. So for us, protection of the brand through brand registry. Second, telling that story we were talking about through A+ content, really vivid, that speaks to you, vivid images that speak to you, so A+. And then the third one is going and reaching out to the customer, no matter where they are, wherever they are, how they want to be spoken, being able to reach our customer. And for us, the Amazon tools that have allowed us to do that, one, as I mentioned, the brand registry. If brands and companies have not taken the time to register your brand, please, I cannot emphasize this anymore, take the time to register do the brand registry. And there are wonderful tools and pages, self-guided, that Amazon allows you to do that with. Second, telling the story with A+ content. Amazon not only allows you to present your content via A+, but then also measure how well you're doing it. Brand store, another thing. Once again, A+ content, which differentiates your listings from your story, what you stand for, what is your product portfolio, how each of them differ. I mean, I could go on. And then the third one is Amazon advertising. The beauty of Amazon advertising, with some of the recent modifications and enhancements that they've made to it, allows you to speak to the customer no matter where they are in their unique purchase journey, which is so important and valuable. And then once again, as I mentioned, a way of achieving that, but then a way of measuring that, and that's your search performance metrics. So brand registry, A+ content via tests, and then Amazon advertising, its reporting, and search performance metrics are the best tools in the trifecta that we've had use of.
Great. What about Shannon? What advice do you give to the brands you work with?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mansi 100%. Brand registry is absolutely essential. In my experience, it's less about specific tools and more about creating brand continuity across every single element that tells your brand story and your customer messaging. So it can include your product images, your A+ content, and your product videos on your detail page. But it can also, as Mansi mentioned, include your storefront and your Amazon post and your brand ads. It's all of these working together holistically to create a really strong brand on the platform. At the same time, Amazon has so many great tools that sellers are going to leverage at different stages of their business. So if you're in the launch phase, you're going to be relying on A+ content to increase your conversion rate, or subscribe and save, for example. If you're in the growth phase, you're going to be relying on brand ads. And if you're in the protect phase, you're going to be relying more on things like transparency and report a violation.
A lot of great advice there. So, if you haven't used these tools, great opportunity to start to give them a try and think about what your needs are and how they can help. We'll come into the next question. And Shannon, I want this one to come to you. But, how do you make your brands more discoverable and help your brands acquire new customers as a way to drive their growth?
Yeah, so I call this discoverability plus buyability equals rankability. So discoverability has to do with the search terms that you put in your listing, and buyability has to do with the messaging that focuses on the features and benefits that your customer actually cares about, just like Mansi was saying. And so the idea of discoverability plus buyability equals rankability means that as customers search that term, find that detail page, and purchase the product, that your product over time will increase in organic rank. And it really is that simple. I think the challenging part is actually when brands have an innovative product that has no search terms. Does anybody have that situation here? So if you have a truly innovative brand, yeah, Sarah's a great example. If you have a truly innovative brand, there are no search terms. And what we find works really well in those situations is actually starting with a strategy that starts off Amazon. And the strategy is you start with video, and you focus on targeting your audience on social media. And then you work on driving that traffic to your Amazon storefront using attribution links. And once you've laid the foundation with those initial product reviews and social proof, then you can expand your advertising to complementary products or complementary terms, and even Amazon DSP to really focus more on that additional audience-based traffic.
Yeah, that's great advice. And actually that strategy of using those off Amazon channels can also help more traditional brands that aren't in a completely new category as well. And you can also earn your brand referral bonus back on that traffic as well. So that's a great added benefit if you're driving traffic into Amazon, you save on your referral fees. Well, Monty, I'd love to come to you with this question. How do you build a brand that customers are absolutely in love with and they want to keep coming back to?
2 words, product obsessed and customer obsessed. And product obsessed is 1 word. Be product obsessed. What we did, what Sarah has done, really obsessing on what is the differentiated value that can be created in the market that just does not exist. Doesn't matter how hard you have to work for it, there is a differentiated value that will help you lift above the crowded space. It may create new search terms even, and that's what we did actually. So take heart, the 1 person or the 2 people that raised their hands. Be product obsessed, leave no stone unturned. Do the research, the scientific evidence, whatever it is that you need to make your product efficacious, to back your product. And then the second was be customer obsessed. And I don't think I need to tell Amazonians about that. Customer obsession for us has been the key to making those customers not only trust us with their first transaction, but then to come back. And the way we do that is listening to their feedback, listening to their reviews, both favorable, but more importantly, unfavorable. And I kid you not, I get on the phone with customers who have left certain category of reviews to really understand where they were coming from. A lot of times, when a review gets written, it gets written in the ethosphere. But when you pick up the phone and speak and give a voice to that review on the other end, you'll find a very empathetic person also, because you've led with that empathy. Between purchases, we do nurture campaigns. We know that our parents, going back to the empathy and understanding those customers, we have parents who are constantly, learning about their infant. Their infant's habits and their sleep habits are changing. They have a lot of physiological changes going through. So once they get used to certain things about their baby, another week and the baby has changed. So we take this opportunity to work with sleep experts, sometimes nurses, to hold webinars. So nurture between purchases keeps you top of mind, makes you that advocate or the advisor, the role that you want to play in the lives of your customers. And then at the very end, bring that feedback back into your product and go back to the first point of being product obsessed. So product obsession, customer advocacy, keeping the lines open, and then using Amazon's email channels to hold those conversations in between your purchases. And that's how we've been able to create a brand that is trusted. We also hold customer forums, and that way we get to learn so much more about the customer than from reviews and feedback. So product obsession and customer obsession.
It's so powerful. And one of the things we've learned is there's so much, if you can get a base of customers who start coming back to you, that's one of the strongest leading indicators that a brand is really about to take off as well. So it's a great KPI to focus on, and you work so hard to acquire customers. So if you can get them to come back and purchase again, it really works. Well, Sarah, I want to come to you with this one. How do you ensure your customers are really satisfied?
It's a great question. Honestly, the work, it never stops. There's always more that you can do, and there's always more that you can improve upon. And for us, it really has been maintaining that open and robust dialogue with our customers, whether it be through reviews, email, social media, our customer service team. I think people are always surprised to hear that even at our size, I read every single review that comes through. I actually, on my phone, still have my notifications on for our social media accounts. And we have well over 500,000, 500,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok. So I get a lot of notifications all day. And I'm not saying that I read every single DM or comment that comes through, but it certainly does give me a really good pulse on the customer and our community and what things are being said, and even like in what tone things are being said. And I really do think that's enabled us to make better and faster improvements.
That's great. Yeah, that feedback loop of really genuinely listening to your customers and then build that back into your product is something we do every day at Amazon as well, or we try to. So, if you've got feedback on our tools, please leave us feedback in Seller Central. I also read it every day, and we really do try to act on it.